So as I was saying, I was sitting and I was, overlooking all of this nature and, all these questions coming to me about what created the plants, what created the plants and all the systems that ensure these plants sustain themselves, because surely they didn't create themselves. I mean, I studied science and especially, well, specifically environmental sciences. So I studied about the soil and all the things that happen in the soil, the processes that happen in the plant, different plants, and they're also different. And I mean, there's this plant that its meat, it captures frogs and insects and locusts, and it just feeds itself, through that. And it just has a way of, everything's just so perfectly made, and everything is just so beautifully connected. And there are birds in the sky that just, have access to all this food. And if you were to check, this, their bodies and how their bodies function, and everything is just so perfect. And especially if you were to go to the tiniest detail of, or not detail, but like to the smallest organ in the plant, and just see how that works. I mean, look at a cell, for instance. It's one of the smallest things in the human body, or in the bodies of, things that have cells. And it also has organs of its own. I don't know if they're called organs, I've forgotten. But it also has things inside, and there are things happening inside a cell. And I was just, questioning myself, like, what created all of this? And how did it become so perfect? And how did everything become so connected? And then, as I was sitting, I just started having these beautiful answers. I started having answers, and oh, that was such a profound moment for me. That was out of this world. But then what I remember is that the answer, or the answers that I was getting, were something along the lines of the same intelligence that was giving me the information that I was asking. And I wasn't asking, with expectation to get a response. It's just questions that I was asking myself, but I was in such a deep state of connectedness with that nature that I was looking at. But yeah, so what I remember happening was me feeling one with the plants. So as I was getting the answers, I was sort of like being taken into this experience of being one with that nature. So the plants that were around me there, and just all of nature. I was just sitting there, and then I was taken into this understanding of how me and all of that, which has been created, are one, in that we all we're all made up of the same thing that is connected at the same time. And so I felt one with all that has been created. And then I started thinking about humans. I was like, am I also the same as humans? And then the same answer came, that, and it wasn't just an answer, it's sort of like an experience that you're taken into, So I was taken into this experience of feeling one with humans, because we are all made of the same thing. We're all one, but then it's like one thing that decides to break apart, and serve different functions. More, like how you can say our body, like your body is like one. There's a bird, just like watching me right now. So beautiful. But how your, so meat, or no, not the meat, but like, let me say the meat, I forgot the word. The flesh that is here, the same flesh that is here. But this one is specialized for whatever this does, whatever the hand is made of, or whatever function the hand has. Um, but it's all one and the same thing, so it's sort of like, similar in that. That the same energy that created everything that has been created is the same energy that is in all that has been created, and it contains within itself the intelligence of all. So as much as this energy is one and it's connected, but it's also been separated into different, and by separated I mean it has been, I mean, there's me. I'm like an individual in a way, or that energy. So I'm that energy manifest, and then this cardboard is that energy manifest. So everything is one, but then everything is also like sort of like separated at the same time. And there is and that was also done so that all this data is connected. It's collected. It's sort of like we're just collecting data, and we're expressing ourselves as separate. It's like this thing decided it's going to have experiences. It's going to understand itself more. But understanding itself more means, it knows itself, it understands itself, it is love, it is perfect, but how will it know that it is perfect if there's nothing to compare that perfection to? More like the whole thing of, if a tree falls in the forest when there is no one to hear that sound, did it make a sound? And we could say that, all what we are doing here, or part of our purpose here on Earth and in the other planets, and or part of the reason this energy decided to split into the different manifestations, is so that it could have experiences of being different things, so that through contrast it could express itself deeply and more, and I don't know. I think it will be fun. Imagine just being, or imagine that your whole life you've only known love. You've never known anything but love. How will you know that? Or rather, what I'm trying to say is, the only way you start appreciating that you've been having love, or you've been experiencing love your whole life, is if you have one moment of experiencing the opposite of love. If you experience hatred, it will feel so foreign, and you'll realize how unpleasant it is. And it's in that moment that you'll realize rather that love is what I want, and love is what I want to experience, and love is beautiful, because you experienced the harshness of hatred. You experienced just the unpleasantness of hatred. You understand? But it's that hatred that helps you understand love, that helps you appreciate love, that makes you want to choose love, and that makes you pursue love, because you have understood what it is through experiencing its contrast, if that makes sense. So, and I think that's what's happening here. And if I'm not making sense, that's also okay. But I know that you are the same energy that I am, and we don't really need language to communicate sometimes. Sometimes one really just has to So the same information or the same dimension that I tap into when I connect to who I really am or to my higher self, when you also connect to your higher self and to who you really are, we just become one on that level, and you also get to get the same understanding that, or the same understanding of yourself that another being has, or whatever. But what I'm trying to say is, um, what I'm trying to say is, I don't need to use many words to make you understand what I'm saying. Energy communicates. So there's information that I'm communicating through energy, and it's when you connect to that part of yourself that is one with where the information that I'm speaking comes from, that you are able to understand what is being communicated. So that is my current understanding of this God being. And yeah, there's a book in the Bible that there's a verse that says, "Be still and know that I am God." And I find that a very powerful scripture, or a very powerful verse, in that my experience, or experiences rather, of feeling connected with something higher or bigger than myself has always been through moments of stillness, has always been through me, stepping into a different dimension, a much higher dimension than the one I normally operate in. It's where I sit still, assume no identity, become nothing, and just be nothing. Just sit there in the nothingness and just be nothing. And it is through that nothingness, it's through that state of being that I feel like myself, that I feel the power, I feel the love, I feel the worthiness of myself. I feel myself for who I really am. I feel this clarity that I normally don't feel. There is no confusion in that state. It's only love, it's only clarity, it's only truth, it's only love, it's only peace, it's only goodness. It feels good, it feels delicious. You just want to stay there. There are no labels, there are no concepts. It's just a state, beautiful state of connectedness, and not only connected with yourself, but connected with others, and all that is it's such a powerful state. And it's only through those moments, and I'm saying moments because we have a very busy mind. Our mind is very busy, and so usually when you're in that state, you start having ideas, and it's very easy for you to start entertaining whatever thoughts come when you're, in that state. But it obviously takes practice and, discipline for you to develop that as a habit, and for you to master controlling the thoughts that come into your mind. And by controlling, I mean just being able to to mute the thoughts, and to just sit there and not to sit still and not think. So how I resonate with the scripture is also through experience of sitting in stillness and feeling connected to higher states of being, so and I believe there are like other scriptures in the Bible and other religious texts that contain a lot of truths hectic, about who this being is, and stuff. So yeah, I know I've said a lot, and like the information is like all over the place, but I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So one main thing, or maybe like just the last thing I should say, is how when I'm in this state, there is no social anxiety. There are thoughts, there are emotions of feeling anxious, but what I mean by there is no social anxiety is that when I am in that state, it's a state of full and complete acceptance. So when anything comes, it's just accepted. There's no resistance of anything. So even when evil or bad thoughts come when you're in that state, or just thoughts that are not very useful or very helpful, you are it just gets accepted. It's the state of all allowance, all acceptance. So when I'm in that state, and then the social anxiety comes, social anxiety comes through in the form of thoughts and emotions. So that those thoughts can come flooding, and I'm just there in control of myself, and I just allow everything to come as it is, and there's no judgment, it's just an allowance of all. So that's why I'm saying there's no social anxiety in that. It is there, it is there. Okay, let's just say it's there, it is there. But it has no power in that moment. um so there's no confusion about anything. So it's a beautiful state to be in, and that's where one feels connected to God, and to this higher being, or to the universe, um and yeah. So yeah, the last thing I said I wanted I wanted to say was that, and please just allow me to ramble, allow me to just go on and on and on and on. So yeah, the thing was about how because I said at the beginning that I usually go with the crowd and go with what everyone else is doing, and only assume beliefs that a good proportion, or a good, yeah, proportion of people have bought into or believe in. So if I am the only one that believes something, or has learned something, or downloaded something from my higher self, there's usually, in that moment, it comes with so much power, and so much clarity, and so much peace, and so much love, and you just know that it's true. um, but then over time it gets, you know um, what's that word, like it gets strangled by you know other ideas that you adopted from either your friends, or your society, or your environment, and whatever. So um, yeah, so I think the main thing was that I wanted to share my experiences, so that other people can understand that they do not have to go with the crowd. They don't have to go with what society believes in, because there's a lot of people that are scared to ask questions, or to question things, and especially when it comes to things such as religion, because you're like, there is no way, because you're like, it's a system that I cannot question, because it has, you know um allowed me to make sense of myself, and of everything, and of the world, and of everything, ever since it's been me. So how can I question such a thing? What will I believe in after that? There's just so much fear surrounding questioning such kind of beliefs. So I'm sharing my journey, and I'm sharing my story, so that more people can realize that, um we all have our own journeys on earth. And as much as we all have our own journeys, we all have guidance. Our souls, our spirits, or who we truly are, came to earth with a mission, for a reason, for a purpose. And it's only when we connect to who we truly are that we are able to connect to that purpose, to who we truly are. Um, and I think that's what we all came here to do. But then the problem is that that is not happening, in that people are scared to question things. People are scared to trust in their own experiences. They'd rather allow a pastor or a church or a religion to define things for them. When you had a very powerful experience of your own, that you could give your own definition, that would allow you to carve your own path, to carve out your own path in this world. And you would be surprised, just what wonderful and amazing and out of this world phenomenal things you'd be led to if one followed their own heart, if they followed their own guidance, and yeah, just their own path. Because I believe we're all being called by our path. So the longer we stay on the path that we think we're supposed to be on, the longer it's going to take for us to go back to our own path. But I think and believe that it will always call us, when you're not happy, when you're not comfortable. Like, all these negative emotions are all signs telling us something. So I really hope that we can, if you're constantly feeling negative emotions, I hope you can sit and just start using them as guidance, or as just maybe sit and really hear the messages that these negative emotions have for you. There's currently fear. That's like there's this energy I'm feeling on my back, and I think I know why. Yeah, but it's like just moving through me like this. It's just so insane. But I'm just gonna leave it for you. I'm just gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope there was value. I hope there was a lesson learned. I hope you really found value in this video. And yeah, please share it with people that you think will benefit from this video. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it here. I love you so much. I truly care. I love you. There's just so much love flowing from my heart to yours, and I hope that you in the receiving mode of this love. And I believe the universe is constantly and I know it's constantly sending out love to you, because it's incapable of sending anything other than love, because what it is in and of itself is love. Hey, English, guys. English. So yeah, I think that's all I had to say. I just wanted to share my heart with you guys. I appreciate you so much. Keep well, and stay blessed. And if there's anything that you could take away from this video, is that sit in silence, connect to who you truly are. You don't need all this information that people are sharing on videos. Even this video, you don't need all of this. You have your own path, you have your own journey. I think maybe this video is important just to remind you to go back to yourself, because that's all that you need. You don't need my videos to learn about yourself, to learn about the universe. You need yourself. So I think we're just here to remind one another that, hey, go back to self. Go back to like your inside, within, whatever, to your inner self. And that's where the answers that you need are. That's where the answers to most of the questions that you have are. So I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much for watching up until this point. I love you. And so if you watched until this point, please type namaskar, or you could just type namaste, 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 in the comment section. Um, yeah. So let me just stop, because I will not stop saying goodbye. I really truly love you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.